All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel again, man. Thank you all so much for coming over. Now, we are back on the Truth Is channel, and he done made another video talking about Him, the movie Him. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but it was very, very in your face, not even trying to hide it anymore with all the messaging and stuff, man. I'll leave the original video in the description so you guys can uh, check out more and even subscribe. The movie Him is based on a true story. Yo, seeing that, a lot of people have stories. A lot of people have things that may be similar to this movie, but I'm just wondering if this is like, oh, this is where they got the inspiration from. So we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
In the movie Him, we saw a brutal portrayal of what it takes to be the GOAT. In the plot of the movie, they depicted the real sinister price to rise above all others and become the number one. Him essentially acknowledged that to be the GOAT, sacrifices were indeed required, showing that these sacrifices weren't just physical, but also spiritual. We covered all of this in my video breakdown of Him that I released a few weeks ago. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out after this one.
Great
the link
video.
would be in the description. At the end of Him, we saw exactly what that price and sacrifice actually looked like. Cameron, the protagonist of the film, was faced with the decision to sell his soul to the literal devil to become the GOAT, but he turned it down and instead delivered brutal vengeance against the league owners who were conducting the initiation. While yes, this is a movie, and movies are just fictional stories most of the time, that might not be the case with Him. This movie hides the truth in plain sight and is actually a confession. Don't believe me? Well, according to this retired pro footballer Khalil Lamin, that is exactly what he went through. He claimed that during his time in the pro soccer leagues, he was approached with a similar opportunity. Sell out, take the oath, and become a football superstar, or refuse and lose it all.
You come at such and such time and we will initiate you. They asked me to offer my son. They asked me to go into some intimate relationship with my own mother. They've asked me to sacrifice such person in a car crash.
Recently, Khalil told this story right as the Him movie was released, a story that we have to take a look at.
He said sacrifice his son, something into it with his mother, and then do something in a car crash. Again, not saying all this is true. All right. But when I talked about when you hear about celebrities and car crashes, it just makes me think of Angie Stone when he said that. Sheesh, man.
Today. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, we will be talking about Khalil Lamin, the real life story of him. Let's get right into it. The movie Him, while not well received, was still a very impactful film. In my opinion, it did a good job of presenting the concept of selling your soul to reach the top in an NFL setting. The film was filled with many important messages throughout the scenes. The most important scene in Him has to be the last scene. This is when Cameron finally learns what has been happening to him over the course of his entire life. He found out that essentially he was chosen as a child to be the future GOAT by the elite league owners. His own father gave him to the secret societies that run the NFL when he was a child. Cameron was then groomed since childhood to be the next GOAT throughout his entire life. The league even kills his father as a sacrifice to keep Cameron committed to his path of becoming.
I'm trying to remember, did anybody see if like HMI stood for anything? You know, how they were talking about in his other movie, like Us, people were saying it's United States. Like, I'm just wondering, did HMI stand for anything? If you guys could please comment below.
In the GOAT. He is also finally told why he was invited to the training camp with his idol Isaiah White. He was brought to the camp so he may ritually kill Isaiah and take his place as the next GOAT, something that he had been preparing for the entire time he was at the camp. They explained to him that he was given Isaiah's blood since he arrived as part of this ritual, as the blood contains the demonic GOAT deity that possesses the players to become the GOAT. After finding this all out, he comes face to face with the secret societies that run the NFL. They put the life-changing contract in front of his face, telling him to sign it and he would be the GOAT and have everything he has ever wanted. My favorite part of this movie has to be this part, because after all of this is said to Isaiah, and he realizes this is the only way to be the GOAT, he chose against it and decided instead to kill off his dream. This is represented by killing the members of the secret society at the end. He did this because he knew it wasn't worth selling his soul. This was a powerful scene. I honestly believe most people in that position wouldn't make the right decision. They would likely choose to sell their souls if it guaranteed them becoming the next GOAT, just like Isaiah did in the movie and every other GOAT before him. And in my opinion, just like many pro athletes have to do across all forms of pro sports. This is why I say the message of this movie is important, because although it was all put in front of him, Cameron still said no. Well, unless you watch the alternative ending, where Cameron actually says yes, but we'll talk more about this later. Now, most people who watched the movie and said it was trash is likely because they don't understand the message of the movie, or they don't want to accept it. Many people, especially in America, are religious sports fans. These leagues are like a church to them, and the GOATs of these sports are their gods.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. And that's what I be talking about. In some people's eyes, certain people can do no wrong, or they just don't care. You know, like an artist will do something just crazy and they still be playing their music, just whatever the case may be. You know, that's why I said it's all about knowing who you support. And that's why, like, these sports, like, for me, I'm a once I find out type of guy. You know, once I get evidence and I find out, then I'm good, I'm done, I'm finished. You know, because a lot of us support people blindly. But once you know, there's no excuse.
This is why they can't fathom the idea that their beloved GOATs had to sell out to make it there. This idea is just too far-fetched for them. The only problem is, people don't realize this movie is closer to reality than they may think. This is exactly what a former pro footballer, Khalil Lamin, recently revealed during an interview. Now, before we get into the story of Khalil, I wanted to shout out my subscriber, Dota Bird, for recommending this video in the first place. Make sure you guys thank them in the comments, as if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have seen this video. Also, if you guys have any ideas of your own, head over to my community wall on my channel page and post your ideas or anything else you want me and other truth seekers to see. Now, like I said, Khalil Lamin was a pro footballer who played in many pro soccer leagues before retiring in 2018. According to Khalil, he decided he would retire after having a terrifying experience while he was still in the league. Khalil claims that one day, he was invited to be interviewed by a man who identified himself as a journalist. He claims that once he met up with the journalist, he wasn't there to ask him any questions about his life, but instead, to make him an offer that would change his football career forever. Ooh. Khalil claims that the man then confessed to him that he was not a journalist, but a man who was representing the secret societies that run Hollywood, the music industry, and the pro sports industry. Khalil claims that this man then made him a strange offer, telling him that he had the power to get him to the next level in his career. All he had to do was meet him in his organization in a discreet location to take the oath and be initiated. Khalil refused and retired not long after, choosing instead to dedicate his life to God, becoming a born-again Christian and starting his own ministry. He claims he started telling other pro footballers what happened to him, claiming that some of them confessed to this happening to them as well, and that unfortunately, they chose to take the deal, telling Khalil that after selling their souls, they were told to hook up with their own mothers and even sacrifice their children.
Former professional soccer player Khalil Lamin, you have an absolutely wild story, including the offer to sell your soul for success. Tell us about it.
Till the day I reached the UK. And in the UK, I was offered by a journalist who in the beginning, I was not aware that he was part of this. So he basically said, let's have a interview about you. You've been in Thailand, you've been in Qatar, you've been all over the place as a young player. So the fans want to know more about you. So obviously I was naive and I said yes. And a couple of weeks later, I got some time. We went to a coffee place. And as I arrived, brother, he looked me straight in the eyes and he told me that I'm not a journalist. I'm like, if you are an agent, I already got a football agent. If you are from another team, I don't want to move from my actual team. I'm fine where I am. But then he said, no, we rule this world. We rule the sport industry. We rule the finance industry. We rule the music industry. And if you want to be part of the elite in your sport, you have to join the elite. So I was like, whew, bro, that was like tough because for me, my hard work will be what will help me to step up. But bro, all my dream came down. I was like, in front of him, he's looking in my eyes and he's telling me that. So obviously my first reaction was fear. But bear in mind, I was not Christian, I was not walking with Christ, and I was still Muslim, and he's offering me this. If you ask me today what kept me, is my beloved mother, who always told me, don't you ever sell your soul.
Man.
And while this man is speaking to me, I could hear the voice of my mom in my ears. Do not sell your soul. Do not sell your soul. But then I asked him this question, what do I have to do to be part of the elite? He said, there is nothing physical. I will give you an address. You come at such and such time, and we will initiate you. I was like, whew. And
So I've never heard of this guy before, but like, is he like pretty good? If you guys know who he is he pretty good? You know, because I feel like what they do is they contact people who may have a little influence, and then their influences boost. You know, and all of these crazy things happen, and you start to see them on commercials, movies. They just always see them on TV and in the spotlight. But he said his friends took the deal. Damn.
as the voice of my mom was a seed in my heart, as he's speaking, I'm hearing, do not sell your soul. Do not sell your soul. I was like, I can't do that. And I could see his energy, his aura was getting like really, no, that's going to be possible. And I was like, no, I can't. And if you ask me today, I know that Jesus saved me from that. And as I'm reading the Bible says that what would a man give in exchange for his soul? I was like, that's exactly what happened to me a couple of years ago. But now that I'm in a ministry supporting sports people into the world of football, I'm seeing footballers after one another coming to me and say, bro, actually your testimony touched me because I've joined them. Are you sure Jesus can save me? I say, what did you do for you to join? They asked me to offer my son. They asked me to go into some intimate relationship with my own mother.
Yo.
They've asked me to sacrifice such person in a car crash. You see, in the physical realm, it will be like a car crash, a cancer, something, but somebody has offered them because they have the same blood.
Damn.
And if you look back in the Old Testament, you can see child sacrifice. You see, so as I am seeing these footballers telling me, I say, God, you've actually saved me from something so dark.
As you heard for yourself, Khalil basically confirms that the movie Him was a true story, a documentary if you will, confirming that he was approached with the same deal that Cameron was approached with in the movie, showing that the true price to be the GOAT is not only talent and hard work, but a spiritual sacrifice of your soul. Now, pictures like this of Messi look completely different, standing next to the GOAT, indicating that he might have taken the oath and made the same sacrifice as Isaiah. It also explains why he does the one-eye symbolism showing his alliance, or even got the eye tattooed. Messi is a clear example of what happens when you say yes to the offer, just like we saw in the alternative ending of Him. Recently, the Him alternative ending was released, and it is the opposite of what happens in the official ending. Instead of Cameron rejecting the deal, he takes the deal. We are then shown Cameron as the MVP GOAT of the league, with the world at his feet. We're also shown Isaiah watching Cameron for some reason, who now is no longer dead. Even though the movie claimed to be the GOAT, Cameron had to kill the previous GOAT. So honestly, Isaiah being alive doesn't make sense, but whatever, I guess. This scene shows what would have happened if Cameron had said yes. He would have been the biggest name in the sport. Just like Messi is in soccer, LeBron is in basketball, and Tom Brady was in football. In fact, many people felt that Him was loosely based on Tom Brady, as Tom Brady not only admitted that his ex-wife used to do witchcraft on him before his games, but also they had this photo of Isaiah wearing all his rings that looked very similar to this photo of Tom Brady, where he is seen wearing all of his rings. While I do believe this movie might be referring to Tom Brady, I also think it's referring to LeBron and Kobe. Just think about this. LeBron beat Kobe's NBA scoring record the day before his death. Just like in Him, before LeBron can take Kobe's place, Kobe had to die. The movie can also be about Messi, who continuously shows himself with the GOAT. In reality, Him was about the price that all the GOATs have to pay to make it. Now, one thing that Khalil said that we must talk about is the man that visited him pretending to be a journalist. I believe that man was likely a Freemason. I say this because soccer actually has a deep connection to Masonry. The Freemasons were behind the creation of soccer, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Ebenezer Cobb Morley is considered the father of modern soccer, being the one credited with establishing the sport. Just like James Naismith, the creator of basketball, and Walter Camp, the father of American football, Morley was associated with the Freemasons as well. Believe it or not, soccer as we know it today was officially created inside of a Masonic lodge. On the 26th of October 1863, 11 football clubs and schools from London met at the Freemasons Tavern to form the Football Association and to agree on a code of football rules. Morley was in attendance and was awarded this plaque by the Freemasons for his importance in establishing the sport. The Football Association was formed on the proposal of Ebenezer Cobb Morley at the Freemasons Tavern, which stood on this site. The modern game of football was born on this date, October 26, 1863, with 6 meetings being held at the Masonic pub to decide on the rules and structure. Now, before you reject what I'm saying, just take a few seconds to verify it. All you have to do is look it up and you can read about this meeting yourself. This is why I believe the Masons were who approached Khalil, and had he said yes, he might have become one of the pro footballer stars. Instead, he did like Cameron did in the movie, rejected the deal, and is choosing to expose it instead, which is the same thing every single one of you should do if you're ever faced with the same decision. I want to know what you guys think about this below. That's it for this video, but before you guys go, I just wanted to let my Patreon members know that...
Okay, so look, do what I always say, like when you hear this type of stuff, you get this information, you can make of it whatever you want. All right, I always try to inform myself, especially in the celebrity world. When people die, to me it's just always weird, especially if there's like a health issue, and these people be so athletic and seem so healthy, and the next thing you know, they're gone. But hey, those are his words, not mine. That man got on there and said, this is what they asked him to do. Those are his words. So again, just trying to gather this information. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who got a story very similar to him, but not him, the movie, but to his story, which is him's story. So yeah, I guess I did say that right. But I feel like it has been a little consistent as far as people a lot of people going like, hold on, wait a minute now. I feel like a lot of people are saying that, the fear is what is making people go like, nah, this can't be true. Not this person, not that person. When Kobe passed away, man, I was like, wait a minute, man, what the hell? What the hell, man? It was just weird and crazy, the whole situation. But what I try to not do is force information on people. You don't have to watch these videos. I'm reacting to them because some people get certain things sent to them, like he was saying, and he, make a compilation of stuff put together, and I try to review it, leave the original in the description, try to share this with y'all and give my analysis on his analysis, So again, I'm not saying this stuff is true. I'm just saying that I'm gathering what this man is talking about. He's given his story, and I'm just going like, damn, man, like, there's been a lot of people who have said things like this, for him to not take that deal and him retire. Yeah. But like I say, when you see a lot of people on the screen a lot, just know it is because you got to remember, these people are ultra rich, man. Ultra. This movie did expose a lot, though. Hey, appreciate y'all coming over and watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.